dozens of cojones.
A wonderfully awful, fabulous idea.
Unless the future changes, the boy will die.
Amazing Technicolor Shit Show.
Hello and welcome. This is Amazing Technicolor Shit Show, the podcast about the fumbles and follies of live theater at all levels. I'm Trev.
And I'm Elle.
And we are here with a Zoom, we're getting ready in the room podcast for you.
Yeah.
Elle has just arrived from helping out with auditions at the dance studio, and she has already prepared everything.
Yes. So usually, well, not always, but usually before we record, we get like at least a couple minutes to do like a quick little debrief of like, here's kind of what we're going to talk about, or here's a general idea of something we are going to do. But we haven't had that today because we have been, we had like reverse schedules. Like you were home when I wasn't home, and then I was home when you were gone, and then you came home and I was gone then. And so it's just been kind of a wild day.
We haven't seen each other all day.
Yeah.
And Elle has walked in the door 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
And
maybe
here
not
we are.
even. It might be 3.5.
Here we are recording for you so
Yeah.
that we can get to choreographing another show later
Yes.
tonight.
Yep.
So, what do you got for me, Elle? Well, I guess...
You're going to be surprised.
Yeah, I guess I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
What the hell are we doing, Elle?
Yeah, right?
What is this? Is this a podcast? Let's just get on with it, I suppose.
Places.
Thank you, places.
All right, I got to set the scene for you.
Okay.
Picture, if you will,
I will.
Victorian London. Gas lamps flickering inside a packed theater. All eyes are fixed on a single man alone on the stage. He's wearing a handsome purple evening suit and a boutonniere with just a desk beside him. The man on the stage is none other than Charles Dickens.
The Dickens himself.
What is he doing on stage? Trev, we usually at least are somewhat aware of what each other is researching for the podcast, but we haven't connected about it at all today. So you're completely in the dark. Would you like to wager a guess as to what is going to happen?
As to what the Dickens is going on?
What the Dickens is going to happen?
So boring guess, high confidence guess. He's reading a script of what will once become a play.
Okay.
Low confidence guess. He is announcing his candidacy for Poet Laureate of Botswana, which you wouldn't expect.
Okay. Well, somewhere in between those two things is
All
the
right.
real answer. We're going to learn.
Thank you.
When Dickens published A Christmas Carol in December 1843, it was an instant cultural phenomenon. But due to high production costs, lavish formatting, and rampant theatrical piracy, Dickens saw very little profit from the book itself.
Wow.
Sidebar, I love that the phrase rampant theatrical piracy is what we're talking about here, because I picture a musical theater pirate, obviously, bedazzled in sequins and glitter and probably with tap shoes on or something. But I'm not referring to actual piracy. I'm referring to the kind where you steal someone else's art without paying for it.
Arr. That wasn't.
Not the swashbuckling kind.
I would have preferred if he was the swashbuckling kind.
Yeah, he's not. These aren't the swashbuckling
My
pirates.
my new high confidence projection is that that Charles Dickens had a pirate hat on while he was doing the next bit of the story.
He didn't.
He did.
But good guess. So, unscrupulous theater managers routinely staged unauthorized adaptations of A Christmas Carol without paying Dickens.
Okay.
So, Dickens needed a way to make up some of his financial dues. And as it turns out, he was also a total ham. He was a theater kid. Yes.
You don't say.
Charles Dickens adored the theater, and
Aw.
he himself loved to perform. He came up with a fabulous idea. A wonderfully awful, fabulous idea. If others were going to profit from performing his story, he would put them all to shame by performing it even better himself, entirely alone on the stage. Yes, Charles Dickens invented the one-man show.
He did not.
Yes, he did.
I mean, obviously, you know, people probably did it before who weren't old white men, but I'm sure he popularized the one-man show.
Yes. So I also love how we've talked about multiple people on this show that we mostly think of as like an author or some other type of artist.
Yeah.
And it turns out that they're also obsessed with the stage and like
Aren't we
also
all?
secretly harbor a dream of being a theater star.
Ever since I was a young boy.
Right? Like the theater bug just has a way of infecting everyone.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, to transition from page to stage, Dickens had to fundamentally reinvent his text. He couldn't just stand up there and read the entire book. That would take way too long, and it wouldn't be fun to watch. So instead, he took his printed book and meticulously edited it into a specialized performance prompt copy. He slashed descriptive paragraphs and tightened the dialogue. He added explicit stage directions in his margins, writing notes to himself, like tone of narrative or cheerful, to guide his delivery.
Okay.
So he had like blocking and stage notes in it. So it was truly,
it's a real
it wasn't
show.
Just a reading, it was truly a staged show.
Yes.
Far beyond simply reading the work, he transformed into each of the characters. And it was apparently absolutely captivating to watch. So,
what was it good?
yes.
Okay. Because it could be a train wreck and still be captivating, but people liked it.
No, people said he was great.
I love it.
So-
Amazing.
So before this, you kind of alluded to the fact that like, oh, well, people probably did this before, right?
Sure.
So before this, it was not uncommon for poets and authors like Edgar Allan Poe, for example, to travel and perform recitations of their work or excerpts from their work in staged recitals. But they wouldn't perform in character. They wouldn't do different voices. They wouldn't do blocking. They wouldn't transform into the characters. It was a formal recitation.
Yeah,
right?
I guess in order to do that, you really need a certain amount of clout to carry the show. Like people are going to show up because it's Charles Dickens.
And you have to have a certain amount of like raw stage presence.
Yeah.
To make people want to watch a show of just you.
You gotta be a ham.
You really have to have a lot of cojones to carry it.
Many cojones. Dozens of cojones.
And Dickens was a smash hit solo performer. It was said that watching Dickens perform was an overwhelming sensory experience for Victorian audiences. He used distinct vocal inflections and sharp physical shifts to morph instantly between the characters. One moment he was the hunched, raspy Scrooge, and the next he was the bouncing, jovial Fezziwig.
Aw.
His performances were so visceral that audience members frequently fainted or openly sobbed. Of course, it was also a different time, so people were fainting about all kinds of crap back then. They also were wearing corsets and things, and they were
severely undernourished.
Many of them had consumption.
Yes.
There was a lot going on with them, but
People really don't faint anymore.
No, people don't really go to public performances and openly weep quite the same way that they used to back in the day.
We need to hire wailers for our next show.
We really do. But he became a traveling box office superstar. He packed theaters across the UK and embarked on a massive and highly lucrative tour of the US.
Cool.
So Dickens basically laid the structural blueprint for the modern solo performance play. His work sort of proved that a single actor with nothing but a really quality script and a good stage presence could hold people's attention for hours. This would eventually become a regular theatrical practice, both in adapting existing works and turning them into a performance for only one performer, and also writing new plays or musicals specifically written for only one performer.
Yeah, right.
Nowadays, there are lots of amazing solo theatrical shows. Cynthia Erivo recently did a solo production of Dracula. And Daniel Radcliffe recently performed a solo show called called Every Brilliant Thing.
Yeah.
And that actually just closed last week. It just
that looked
closed the
so
end of May.
cool.
It looked fantastic. I saw lots of, little clips and stuff of him before the show, talking to people. It looked really awesome. But yeah, so it's a pretty common thing now to do, a solo show. And, but yeah, amazingly, Charles Dickens was the first one to do that.
Would you ever do a solo show?
You bet I would.
What would it be about? Would it be like a deep introspective personal one, or would you want to do like a different
No,
story?
I would want it to be funny.
You would want to be like every
would want it to be
character
funny.
in Dracula.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I would want it to be like people laughing at me, but just that like I would want there to be like a lighthearted, fun quality to
High
it.
energy.
Yeah, high energy and fun.
I think I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see some shows sometimes. I mean, I haven't seen one in real life, but I see clips of shows that are, like a really intense one-person show.
Yeah.
Where they are just digging into the essence of humanity and weeping openly on stage. It's very like performance art.
Yeah.
But made into an hour and a half long special.
Yeah.
And gosh, that's just a lot to take in.
Yeah. I'm not sure that that's the kind of solo performance that I would really love to do.
Yeah.
I think it would be amazing to see,
Sure.
but I'm not sure that would be the kind that I would prefer to do myself. I think it would need to be like where I'm playing multiple characters. I think that would be really, really fun.
That'd be super fun.
I would love to do that. So remarkably, this specific part of the Dickensian legacy is also alive and well through his bloodline.
Oh.
Dickens's great-great-grandson, Gerald Charles Dickens, is a professional actor who has spent decades upholding this extraordinary family tradition.
Gerald Dickens.
Gerald did not initially set out to follow in his ancestors' footsteps, but after being asked to perform A Christmas Carol solo for a festival in 1993, he discovered a profound connection to the material and a love of solo performance. And still today, Gerald tours the world performing his own energetic one-man adaptation of the classic tale.
Cute.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that amazing?
From the Dickens of yesterday to
Yes.
the Dickens of today.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, if you are part of a historically relevant bloodline like that,
Yeah.
it is really, really cool. Like a fun opportunity to find a way to honor that while also, making your own way. I'm sure it's different in some ways.
Yeah.
But it's a Dickens on Dickens. I just can't stop saying Dickens. It's very fun to
the
say.
Dickens.
Well, we had a story on the docket, perhaps, but I have to push that aside.
Okay.
Because today, hours ago, nary but minutes ago, well, hours ago, I was at a rehearsal of a kids performance that we are mounting here in our city, and there are 55 kids in the show. This is day one. Everybody's like getting their scripts and figuring out where they're gonna stand or whatever. It's chaos. It wasn't chaos, honestly, because I've done this before. We've got a strong team who knows what to do, and we had a plan. We had a plan for the day. It was a 2-hour rehearsal. We were gonna do a warm up and then a read through and then choreograph the first song.
Okay.
We do the warm up, we do the read through, and the choreographer isn't there.
Oh no.
And I say to the director, I say, "What? Where's the choreographer?" And the choreographer is sick.
Oh.
I did get this news, but I didn't see it.
Oh.
I just didn't check my phone, and so I was like, "What are we doing?" Well, the director said, "Oh, it's totally fine because the music guy is here and he's going to go through some music." The music guy had left. He had a different rehearsal.
Oh.
We knew about that ahead of time too, but like these things, you just have all of the information, but you have so much information that you don't have all the information in your head at all times.
All at the same time.
So here we are. It's 6:00 p.m. The kids are going home at 7:00 p.m. and we have 0 planned for them to do.
Oh no.
And we want to start at the beginning because it really works best if you're only spending a very short amount of time with kids, putting them through a show. It really helps the kids' brains to start from the beginning and then go on. So what are we going to do?
The linear factor is definitely like easier for them to grab hold of.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So this the director and I just like looked at each other and we were like, all right, we're just gonna do this. You take the dogs, I'll take the cats. It's Aristocats kids, so she took the dogs, I took the cats, and we figured out where they were gonna enter from, and we divided them into lines, and we just on the fly while the kids were like looking at us, staring at us, waiting for us to make a plan and tell them what to do. We were just like silently conferring, like, what if they came in from there and came in from the sides, and the dogs can come in from backstage? And we're like, all right, break, cool. It took us 2 minutes. We spent the next 15 minutes showing all the kids where it was going to happen. And of course, it had to line up with the music because these are tracked songs.
So were you doing choreography on the fly, or were you doing like blocking on the fly?
Well, we found where the choreography would start. And, then when choreography starts, we just skipped those like 8 measures and then went to where the kids would have to change locations.
Okay.
This is all something that I'm sure the choreographer would have done.
Yeah.
But we just found the exact parts of the show that we could make an educated guess on what would have been the plan.
Okay.
And we just made a plan.
Okay.
And it was very fun. And let me tell you, I told you we're good at this. It just worked. It just worked.
Wow.
We had our little intern hit and go on the music, and we said, all right, go from your spots to where you land on the stage. And they got there exactly with enough time to take a breath before they start singing. And I was like, wow, it helps to plan, but if you can't plan, then just
think on your feet.
Just be good at telling children where to go.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. These kids are, I've said it before, but the 3rd through 5th graders, these younger kids that I've been working with for the little kids shows, they are just like excited to be there.
Yeah.
And when you tell them act like jazzy cats, and you show them like, yeah, I'm a jazzy cat, they're like, hell yeah, I want to be a jazzy cat. That sounds so cool. And of course I was like coming up to this plan of like, how am I going to tell them how to look jazzy? And I'm like, they're going to think this is stupid. But no.
They're little enough.
They want to be a jazzy
they're
cat.
They're pumped about it, and they love to think. It's when they start getting older and they start thinking that everyone's looking at them and they have to be cool.
Oh my
and
gosh, yeah.
They get real self-conscious when they get a little older. And it's sad. It's right around like middle school.
Yeah.
But like before middle school, kids still have that whimsy of like caring less what people think.
There's so much whimsy.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, can I make the cat paws? Like, yeah, you can make cat paws. And like, can I like lick my hand like I'm a cat? Like, yeah, you can lick your hand like you're a cat.
Yeah.
Go to it.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I love you. I love that you guys were able to get it together, and I'm sure the kids probably didn't really notice.
Right.
So
it's
that's
such a subtle like thing that went wrong, because it's just like in the moment it was just like, well, damn it, let's move on. It didn't really come across as a train wreck because we just were in the right mindset to roll. That was a good time.
Nice.
5 minutes.
Thank you, Five. All right, Trev, I am going to test your ability to perform solo.
Oh, I thought this might be coming. Okay, you've sent me a document here.
It says TY5.
Perfect. Top
Trev,
secret.
top
Okay,
secret.
should I open it?
You may open it now.
All right.
I am going to test your ability to perform solo. You will perform a reading of a summary of A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
But I periodically will interrupt you and ask you to read as a different type of character.
Okay.
I would like you to begin as a 1990s movie preview announcer.
All right. Should I just roll?
Take it away.
Meet Ebenezer Scrooge. He's a cold-hearted, greedy moneylender in Victorian London. Scrooge despises Christmas, viewing it as a waste of time and money. He treats his underpaid clerk, Bob Cratchit, with cruelty and rejects a festive dinner invitation from his cheerful nephew, Fred.
All right, now continue reading as a spunky 90-year-old woman.
On Christmas Eve, Scrooge is visited by the ghost of his deceased business partner, Jacob Marley. Bound in heavy chains, forged by his own lifetime of greed, Marley warns Scrooge that a similar, worse fate awaits him. He reveals that Scrooge will be visited by 3 spirits over the next 3 nights in a final chance for redemption.
Now continue as a pirate.
The ghost of Christmas past takes his Scrooge back to his youth. He relieves his lonely school days, his joyful apprenticeship under the kind Fiebig, and the painful moment his fiancée, Belle, left him because his growing obsession with the sea. His growing obsession with wealth.
Now continue as a snobby, wealthy man.
The ghost of Christmas present shows Scrooge the current holiday celebrations. Scrooge witnesses Fred's joyful gathering and visits the impoverished Cratchit home. There he learns of Bob's frail, sickly son, Tiny Tim. The spirit warns that unless the future changes, the boy will die.
Continue as a cyborg.
Finally, the silent ghost of Christmas yet to come reveals a grim future. Scrooge sees people rejoicing over the death of an unloved, wealthy man whose possessions are stolen by scavengers. He then watches the Cratchits mourn the tragic death of Tiny Tim. Scrooge is horrified to discover that the despised dead man is himself.
And finally, continue as a cereal mascot.
Terrified and repentant, Scrooge awakens on Christmas morning a changed man. Overjoyed to have a second chance, he sends a massive turkey to the Cratchits, donates generously to charity, and joins Fred's party. He gives Bob a significant raise and becomes a second father to Tiny Tim, who survives. From that day on, Scrooge embodies the true spirit of Christmas, spreading generosity, kindness, and love.
There we go. That's our game. Well done.
I feel like I blacked out. How long was I in there? That's all we have time for today. I think I'm going to go take a nap. We have loved being here for you. Send us your stories, please. We love to hear all sorts of tales of Christmas past, present, or yet to come on the stage. And please, of course, if you love the show, go ahead and leave us a good review and or a good rating if the mood so pleases you. If you hated the show, then tell your enemies, and they will be forced to do a one-man show. But it's gonna have to be the really, the really depressing kind,
The intense kind. Yeah.
We're gonna really make them do that and dig into their psyche, and maybe they won't be so shitty anymore.
Yeah.
Piano accompaniment was provided by Paul Thelen. I feel like I'm still doing it. Piano accompaniment was provided by Paul Thelen. And the stage manager is Daniel Schneider. Thank you again so much for listening. We wish you all the very, very best. And as always, whatever you're up to, be it on stage, off stage, or in your life, break a leg.
Amazing Technicolor shit show.